I'd like you to sit back for a few minutes and imagine yourself in a child's shoes. You're an 11-year-old boy in Year 6, attending a small school in regional Australia. You've never met anybody from another country. One day, your teacher says that you're off to an exhibition called Courage to Care. When the coach pulls up, everyone is excited. You're heading to the big town an hour away. It's a day off school. Everyone is pushing to get to the window seat to sit with friends. All the cool kids sit up the back. No one sits with Danny, because no one ever sits with Danny. Now imagine that you're a Courage to Care volunteer, welcoming the bus. You have just 2 hours to impart a simple yet powerful message that each one of us can stand up to injustice, big or small. You focus on the bridging the gulf between their world and your experience. What happened to you a long time ago, but unfortunately still relevant today. Now back to the 11-year-old boy. It's 2 hours later. You've had a big day, a very important day. You've sat in a circle with an elder woman who, as she told her story, transformed before your eyes into a girl your age. She lived in Europe during the Second World War. First, she wasn't allowed to play with a friend next door. Then, not allowed to go to school. Then, she had to hide to save her life. All simply because she was different. She was born Jewish. You are shocked. You didn't know that dreadful things like that could happen. How can people be so cruel? Today, she's a grandmother in Australia. She's alive because some people had the courage to help her. They hid her, fed her, clothed her, even though they were risking their own lives and those of their children. They treated her as a fellow human being. Before the exhibition, you weren't really sure where Europe was or what Jewish was. You had barely heard of the Second World War. Today, you read stories and saw artefacts of their rescue and survivors. You sat in a discussion group where you were asked to write down the thoughts that you will take with you. You wrote, "Courage is being scared, but doing something anyway." Now, everyone quietly gets on the bus. You decide to sit next to Danny, but 3 others have already are trying to sit next to Danny. This is the impact that Courage to Care has. Everything that you've just heard is true. The student, Danny, the survivor, the volunteers. These are just some of the uplifting stories which come out of the Courage to Care experience. It is my great pleasure, on behalf of B'nai B'rith, the worldwide Jewish community service organisation working in 51 countries and with NGO status at the United Nations, to welcome you all to this launch of the 45th Courage to Care exhibition. The exhibition pays homage to exceptional people who put their lives at risk to save Jews and other minorities during the terrible time of the Holocaust. We recall their courageous acts at enormous personal risks to save lives. They are the true heroes in their day, the foremost defenders of human rights. Courage to Care aims to empower the people usually overlooked in situations involving prejudice and discrimination. That is, the bystanders. Many social tolerance programs are directed towards the victims or the perpetrators. By contrast, Courage to Care focuses on the majority, the bystanders, encouraging them to confront incidents of discrimination, bullying and harm. A program, we believe, has relevance to everyone. It challenges their thinking and their perceptions and has the potential to change their behaviour. Most Australians are immigrants or children of immigrants, encompassing more than 120 language and 215 different cultural groups. Despite our common migrant experience, there is increased turbulence. We've become less tolerant of those who follow a different lifestyle or are of a different race, religion or culture. We've become less tolerant of those who hold different values. There is absolutely no place in Australia for divisiveness, discrimination or racism. Attitudes we must reject. We are probably the world's most socially multicultural and harmonious society, and we must remain that way. In Courage to Care 60 years, we have held 45 exhibitions, from Perth to Brisbane, and in every corner of country Victoria and New South Wales. Our updated figures are that more than 195,000 people, including 95,500 students, have visited us and have experienced our 2-hour workshops. Courage to Care is a dynamic, nurturing organisation designed to create opportunities for personal growth through the power of education. We move and inspire young people to become passionate about their heritage and of their community. In our 2-hour workshops, students are encouraged to inquire, discuss and critically reflect their own values as they become aware of behaviours which constitute bullying and racial prejudice. Here in Cairns, we are virtually booked out, and probably the latest figure is that we are booked out. I think we've got 2 or 3 slots or 1 slot, something like that. We have 1,500 students and 230 teachers that are participating in our workshops. But please note that we are also open to the public on Sundays, I believe, between 11 and 4. So please tell your friends, and we would love them to come and visit us and visit the Mercy Centre. On a totally different note, I would now like to perform a very pleasant task. Our exhibition always honours a local hero. Here in Cairns, you have your very own Carol Mayer, who's sitting in the front, almost next to my wife. Her amazing story of one woman's extraordinary journey to hell and back, as she inspires others to live, love and be free. Carol suffered life-threatening burn injuries following a fire in her home 15 years ago. I've met her before and she's the most stoic lady I've met for a long time. Her son, then 18 months old, emerged thankfully unscathed. What followed was a battle of survival, an amazing journey driven by acceptance, love and extraordinary appreciation of life. In hospital for months, her injuries were so severe that the doctor spoke to Carol's father about switching off for life support. That same evening, her body began to function again. Remarkable. Recovery was a very steep climb. Carol endured multiple skin grafts and reconstruction surgeries, continually battling the physical pain and mental anguish of her ordeal. And I have to share with you that previously to the opening here, she mentioned that the last operation she had was 8 years ago, which is just fantastic, and I think we really should put our hands together for it. 9 months after her accident, Carol returned to her son, a new home built by the Cairns community. Her life altered by adversity. The focus soon shifted to helping others and sharing her message of resilience and hope. And this is a quote: "When you go through this, what I've been through, you know that empathy is, and I know the pain. I know the lonely place, and I know how to step out of it." And that was a comment by Carol. Carol is currently the ambassador for the Julian Burton Burns Trust. This role centres on relationships with burn survivors, supporting their journey of acceptance and assisting in navigating challenges unique to their experience. Carol also speaks on the fire safety and to all facing hardship on arduous journey of recovery, and has provided support to the survivors of the recent explosion in Ravenshoe. So, Carol, would you like to step forward? I have a citation here for you, and Colin has a lovely bunch of flowers which he got especially for you. Now, the citation reads, "Courage to Care pays tribute to Carol Meyer for her unwavering commitment to helping others by sharing her message of resilience and hope. We acknowledge her strength and ability to step up in her time of struggle and value her extraordinary appreciation for life. We wish Carol profound influence in her role as ambassador for the Julian Burton Trust." Thank you. You're going to hear from Carol shortly, and we'll get Carol up in a minute. My absolute profound thanks to Colin Harvey, Assistant Executive Director, Identity and Mission and Catholic Education Services, who had the vision to invite us to Cairns, and to Rod Cole-Clark, Manager of Seville Mercy Centre, together with the entire staff. I don't think we've ever had such a welcome in anywhere in any of their 45 exhibitions, I must say, as we've had from the staff here. Is that correct, my team? Yeah, they all can all say. And particularly from Trish, who's sitting next to, there's Trish, you want to stand up or put your hand up? Who's come here to help. It's just been absolutely wonderful. I thank them for their enthusiasm and great assistance in allowing us to hold Courage to Care in this prestigious venue. I thank the Courage to Care team for a fantastic job in making this exhibition happen. The distance and the logistics of getting the exhibition and program from Sydney to Cairns was particularly challenging, as you can imagine. A great thanks to Rachel Mansford, our curator, and to Ashley Charlton, our program manager. Courage to Care has been a tremendous team effort. We have a great group of enthusiastic volunteers, some of whom are here today, and I want to congratulate the entire team for a job very well done. You all know who you are. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Courage to Care demonstrates just what a difference we as individuals can make to see overt prejudice. Please spread the word, tell your friends about the program, and I thank you again for all joining us this evening and for your ongoing support, and please enjoy the hospitality, the Mercy Centre and the Courage to Care exhibition after the speeches. Thank you very much.